things I can't seem to let go. And I feel like I'm all on my own. And some days it gets worse and the memories hurt, but I hope that one day I let go. I know I get mad, too mad, and I don't wanna do that. It hurts bad and I hate when the mood lasts. I move fast and I try hard to move past all the pain, cause I'm looking for a bright side in my mind, cause you only got one life. Need advice from the future, am I alright? If this fight feels like something from your own life, then one time let me hear you sing.
Sometimes things will get hard and leave you covered in scars, but I know I could get out of this. And I feel like life moves way too fast to hold on to things from the past. So goodbye to things I'll never miss.
We don't run, no, we stand together and hold on through the angry weather. We all want to make something better, I know. And my trust has been torn and shredded, it's been rough, but I try to forget it and move on to a place where I can grow. It's time, not holding back, I'm coming and coming fast. I know what I wanna have, the dream is to detach from all that is bad, the things holding me back, the people that didn't last, the evil that kept me mad. This is my life, it's my time to do things just how I like. My runway full of lights, I'ma take flight, and my God is my purpose and my fight. If you feel the same, let me hear you say.
Sometimes things will get hard and leave you covered in scars, but I know I can get out of this. And I feel like life moves way too fast to hold on to things from the past. So goodbye to things I'll never miss. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy, only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind of Your Matter. My name is Rick. Let's get the show started. Oh boy, what a day! Actually went candle shopping today. Ended up picking up a lot of packs. Ended up spending too much, but I can't say no to candles. That's one thing that I love. I love fire. I love the light. I love the warmthness of it. There's something about fire, the energy. It just sits well with me. Well, how's your Sunday going? I hope your weekend was a good weekend. Mine was really good. I had a good weekend, pretty productive, and I don't have nothing set up. No, this is like a blank show. I have nothing set up. I just got back from doing all my running around and errands, and I picked up a lot of tea light candles. Holy smokes! I think I picked up way too much. Well, not really way too much because I do, like I said, I burn a lot of tea light candles per show, and that's I don't know what's going on. The internet is acting crazy, so I'm not surprised. Uh, we take all these little things for granted. Like the internet. What's the most important thing in your life that you take for granted? I think the most important thing in my life that I take for granted is electricity. Because without electricity, we don't have nothing. We don't have clean water. We don't have no way to flush our waste away. We don't have any light, no AC, no pretty much anything. Everything like in this world runs with energy, and I think we take it for granted. And what's on my mind right now? Keep thinking about baby Emmanuel. It's like that little boy's like calling me. He keeps like I hear his like I just feel his energy. It's like very strong. That boy. I wish I could like pinpoint exactly where he's at, you know. But the fact that these parents had a head start, a big head start, because this baby just didn't just disappear out of the blue. This baby has been gone for probably probably a month or two. This baby's been out of sight, out of mind. I know the family hasn't seen that child in over like what 6, almost 2 weeks. No, actually no, 6 to 8 weeks. Um, I don't know. It's just that little boy keeps plaguing my mind because he's so innocent, and he was super. He was abused. He was abused. He was not taken care of properly. Um, I believe the parents were just guilty. They're guilty in all charges: murder, neglect. Um, they didn't take care of that baby. They shouldn't have never had that baby in that house to begin with. And I solely blame the state for that. I blame the Connecticut. That's funny. I blame California. Um, California, the state of California, the Children's and Families Department in California. Those are the people. I have no idea why the internet is acting crazy. It's not used to me coming on this time. I think my energy is too high right now because I'm focusing my energy on this little baby Emmanuel, that like I'm driving the internet and everything crazy here, and it does that when I get mad. Um because I produce a lot of energy, oral energy around me. Um but this baby, this this is, it's just ridiculous, the whole story. I mean, it's really one big distraction, but I blame the state of California, Department of Children's and Families, on this, because this individual has been known to hurt his children beforehand, and the fact that they let him have, well, he had this baby, and yet they never went to check upon this baby, and never, like, the state never went to the house to check up on this baby. It just draws a lot of red flags, and I think, yes, I blame the parents, but I mostly blame the state of California. Like, California is just one reckless state, especially for children. They don't really protect the children. As you can see, they don't care about the children in California. Um, it's just so sad. It is. All right, let me come over here and click this over here. Hey, Albie, how you doing? Yes, it's Sunday. I can't really see the damn. I can't see. I can't see the damn. I put eye drops on my eyes and I can't even see the screen. So whatever you wrote there, I can't really see right now. I'm sorry. I gotta put it on my phone. It's just I put these drops, and these drops on my eyes, it doesn't help the vision. It actually, it's like medicine for my eyes, but it causes my vision to like go really blurry, so I can't really see the screen. So give me a sec, because I gotta grab my phone. So I have it over there, but hold on. I have to like squint my eyes. I gotta like really squint. Okay, hey buddy, happy Sunday to you, Rick, and all who subscribe to you as well too. Oh yeah, I mean, we got a lot of subscribers. We gotta pick up the count. It seems like it's stalling a little bit, but we gotta bring those numbers up. Um, you know what? Let me see what's on the news here, because like I said, I have not. I just got here, so um, let's see. Uh, I'm just looking around real quick here on YouTube, see what's going on here. Oh, we got a Tyson De La Cruz from last night. Actually, no, this is not from last night. It was from today, actually, from this morning. Actually, 11 in the morning, he uploaded that. Okay, so he's did that upload early. So we do have a Tyson De La Cruz to review. Let me just see what's on the news. Man, my vision is so bad right now. Ew, this is disgusting, but we're gonna watch it. Skeleton remains. This is another case. I don't know if I want to explore another case. No, I don't want to explore another case, because it just takes up all my energy, and I don't want to do that. So what is going on here? We got more. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm taking my time here, but I'm looking for some stuff. Okay. So, okay. Okay. Nope. I can't wait till I buy the new television that I'm gonna be getting because I can't deal with this. I mean, it's a good size. Don't get me wrong. It's 65-inch, but it's just too little for me. Like 65 is too little. Yeah, it is, especially if it's like 15 feet away from me, and I can't really see that far like that. Especially like trying to read what it says. What I want to get is about a 80, 85-inch, maybe 100-inch, depending if it's on sale or what. Especially Black Friday, they put everything on sale, but I want to put it on the wall and have like ability to see properly and not have the camera like block my vision here. Um, let's go ahead and open this one up. I want to see that. It's just a lot of crazy stories. It's a lot of crazy stories going on. All right, we'll get to this. We're gonna go ahead and just start watching. I guess I opened up enough for right now. It's just about 5 videos. It's not going to be a long show today. I'm trying to be off of here by 6:30, maybe 6:45. I do have the wrestling event tonight. The wrestling event starts at 7 p.m. The pre-show starts at 6, but I'm not in to watch the pre-show. I don't care about the pre-show. I'll be honest with you. Um, the event starts at 7 p.m. and it's actually the NXT Heat Wave, WWE Heat Wave. That's that's tonight. The Clash in Paris is going to be next Sunday at 2 p.m. So I thought it was this weekend, but it's not this weekend. It's next weekend, the 31st. So we got 1 week for that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. There's not really much on but let me see if there's anything breaking. Any breaking news? No, no breaking news. Not that I know of. No, there's no breaking news. If anything breaks, I'll break in and I'll show the breaking news. But there's nothing. It's a good Sunday so far. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this over here. Let's get this stuff set up. Every single time, I always gotta set this up. Like I said before, and this is a non-edited version of my Minority Matter. All my shows are unedited. I don't edit. I don't get the patience to edit. A lot of people do, and they do edit, and they have like Tyson De La Cruz, like how clean and crispy his shows are. That's good editing. I'm not doing that. I do lives, so what you get is very it's a very rough version of a show here. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get the weather too because I want to check out what's going on in the tropics. So that's what we're going to check out first. So let me set this up. Here we go. We're going to loop it. Go ahead and share. And we're going to take a look right now at the tropics and what's catching my attention, right? This is Ferdinand. Ferdinand is about to jet its way out of here. It is holding good strength. It is trying to strengthen, but it's not no concern for us. This system right here, this is 99L. It's looking pretty impressive. I mean, it's going through some cycles. I mean, Leeward Islands is going to get a good amount of rain out of this. Everything's quiet in the tropics. It looks very peaceful. Got a wave coming off of Africa. Possibility it could develop down the line, but right now it's just an open wave. But this is the main attention. It's supposed to move across into the Caribbean Sea and then possibly develop into something, maybe a monster. Who knows? I think the next name is Gabrielle. I think it's a girl's name, so it's Gabrielle or something like that. I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me. And then, of course, you always got to pay attention to here in the Gulf of Mexico. You got a lot of showers. They tell you all the time when there's showers in the Gulf of Mexico, pay attention to it. And you got like a train of really big thunderstorms in the Gulf of Mexico. And it needs to go somewhere, right? So it's probably going to come across and probably come into Florida. Florida's going to end up getting a lot of rain. Much needed rain for certain areas of Florida. But this is a lot of energy here in the Gulf. So always got to pay attention to that. And that's the tropics for now. Now, the next thing I want to watch, we're going to just go down the line. Let's see where we're going to start with. We're going to leave Tyson for last. Tyson, he's like reserved the last spot. So he will be the last video we will watch. Let me just finish setting up here. If you was to see all the stuff that I have to do to get this like set up properly, you'd be like, damn, that's a lot of work. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. Live it's not easy. And today, like I said, I went shopping for tea light candles and ended up spending like close to like $70 on candles. It's like $70. Like, yeah. I got 1,200 tea light candles. Yeah, you heard that right. 1,200 candles. And you could guess how many candles that I burn on every show. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead. We're going to start off with Trump sends message to Ukraine amid Russian war. So let's see what this has to do with. Let's watch this.
I do want to take us out to this post on X from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Yeah, I'll send you the link on Discord, Albie.
Ukraine is now in the 4th year of the full-scale war, preserving its independence, its sovereignty, and our state's ability to achieve and keep achieving the necessary results. We are confident that we will withstand this war, the Ukrainian state, the Ukrainian people. We will defend our independence and our land and the right to an independent national life for Ukrainians, so that our children and grandchildren and their children and grandchildren can live safely on their land and by their own rules.
I can't support him.
Ukrainians will remain on this land where 100 years from now, our future generations will stand, and 100 years from now, they will celebrate Ukraine's Independence Day here. Now, there's a lot to get to in terms of the developments within this war between Russia and Ukraine. So to do that, I would like to bring onto the program now Ivana Stradner. She is with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Now, Ivana, good to see you.
Defense
So
of
wonderful to see you.
democracy?
Thank
What
you.
the fuck is that?
Of course. Let's just start with a recap for our viewers. What's going on the ground right now within this war?
To begin with, I'm very glad that we are talking today about
World War III should just
1991
break
and
out
Ukrainian
already.
independence. It's immensely
I'm tired of this
important
back and forth
because that was the
bullshit.
day when Ukraine
If you're gonna fight, just go all
finally
out and
sought
fight.
its sovereignty and independence 34 years ago. And unfortunately, in 2025, we are still talking about a country that Russia is trying to occupy and where Russia does not even recognize the sovereignty, basically, of Ukraine. So when it comes to facts on the ground, what's going on in Ukraine, Russia believes that Russia is winning, and they're trying to progress on militarily on the ground to basically scare Ukraine and the West, and those tactics are not working. My concern is right now during the negotiation process that the very first fact that every time when we are trying to negotiate with Russia, Putin sends us, to put in quotation mark, a gift by firing more missiles on Ukraine and making sure that the West is deterred in Ukraine. So I do believe in the coming days and weeks, Putin is going to continue his attacks, I believe, even with more drones. The good news is that Ukraine, it's building its own military industry. There are more weapons. All we really need to do right now is to make sure that the most important security guarantee is a very strong Ukrainian military. Because make no
That's
mistake,
bullshit.
Putin is going to continue
Listen,
to target the West. Having
what is
said
Ukraine
that,
has to
just
do
a
with
few
the
days
United
ago,
States?
when we are talking about facts on the
How is that
ground,
going to protect us in the
negotiation
United
process,
States? What
Putin
benefit does it
actually
do
wanted
for
to
us?
deter
They don't
also
do
the
nothing for
United
us.
States by attacking
I
our
don't get it.
factory in Ukraine, which tells you really all you need to know what is going on the ground.
So just moments ago, I did play out some of the remarks from Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. We still have that image coming out. So I'm going to bring it here on the screen just to show our viewers kind of the setup here. You see there Prime Minister Carney. You see there Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shaking hands, really solidifying this partnership. And that brings me to the next part of this interview that I want to touch on. It was earlier this week that not only we saw President Zelensky head out to the White House to meet with President Trump, but also several EU leaders. So recap for us what we saw during that meeting, what came out of it. It happened last Monday, so it's been some time.
It's been some time, and it took us also some time after that to recap and to see what's really going on. I do believe that that meeting was significantly more important than the one we saw a few days before that with Putin, because our center of gravity is alliances. And Putin has been trying very, very hard to break that partnership. What we saw on Monday was President Trump leading the effort to unite Europe. On one hand, to talk about security guarantees, to talk about potential stopping the war and how to handle Russia. I also believe that President Trump made sure that Europe is also doing its own part by buying more weapons and sending to Ukraine. They also discussed security guarantees, and there were some disagreements about ceasefire versus long-term peace. And I do believe there is no long-term peace solution without having ceasefire in the first place, because that should be the first signal that Putin is willing to negotiate with the West. Because my concern is that he's buying more time just to reposition his military and then to continue. And some of the European leaders have actually
if he wanted to really
made
attack
sure
Ukraine,
that,
he would destroy it.
that Washington also understands that. When it comes to security guarantees, I do believe that that sounds great in theory. I'm very concerned about how we are going to implement that, because it might take some time to get there, which actually might mean that the Kremlin can use that time to buy more time to reposition its military and then to continue. Because for Putin, this is a protracted war. he does not understand this war in the same way like we do. He's willing to sacrifice much more, and time is on his hand. That's precisely why we should not fall for his agenda. And the third point, during that meeting, something was raised in Washington before, was about territory swap and giving up territory. And that's a typical the Kremlin strategy, which is to raise negotiations so high that Ukraine rejects such demands, and then that Zelensky is portrayed as an unreliable partner. That's another game that we should not fall for that. President Trump, just a few days ago, he said that he is going to give Putin a few more weeks. And I do believe that President Trump will. He's already seeing through Putin's games. My concern is that security guarantees in the short run are not going to work, but President Trump has cards to go after Putin. Putin's center of gravity is economy. Putin's center of gravity is energy. Those two things we should target. And the second thing is the most important security guarantee right now for Ukraine is strong Ukrainian military. So allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles, to send them more long-range missiles are going to be a powerful weapon against Putin. And my last point is, while we are willing to negotiate with Russia, all you really have to know is yesterday's statements by Russia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, who basically claimed that Putin is more or less not ready to meet Zelensky, which means that even that part of negotiation will be stalled. And in the coming weeks, what I foresee is more blackmails coming from Moscow in the sense that they might actually increase their attacks. What we saw, an attack on American companies, just another example of sabotage activities against the West that has been happening for a very long time, whether in the UK, whether in Germany, Russia is cutting sea cables. So those type of things are typical KGB strategies where Putin likes to escalate and then to blackmail the West to try to de-escalate. And we should not be concerned about that. One of the best things that President Trump has done when it comes to a negotiation with Russia is that he completely removed Putin's nuclear threats by claiming to reposition American submarines. That thing is over, and we should not fear that sort of escalation.
So after that meeting that President Trump had with Zelensky and those European leaders, there was a phone call between President Trump and President Putin. Do we know anything about that phone call?
We don't have lots of details about that particular phone call. The only thing that Russia was claiming, actually, he was updated, but the only thing that Russia was claiming that they took advantage of that for their own propaganda, claiming, President Trump even interrupted his own meeting to call the most important person in the room, which was Putin, according to them. So we don't have lots of details, but signals that I see based on President Trump's statement that Putin has a few more weeks tell me a lot, actually, that he delivered also some of the messages what the West, as a united West, can do against Russia.
It's interesting that we continue to talk about the fact that President Trump has given President Putin a few more weeks to kind of see where this could go. But a lot could happen in a few weeks, especially with something that you mentioned earlier, which is that Russia really is willing to put all the cards out there. They're willing to play the long game just to get what they want in the end. So how impactful could that be for Ukraine to continue to have to wait weeks to see this war come to an end?
You're absolutely right. And Putin is going to challenge Washington in terms of crossing our red line and making sure that we enforce it. Words are cheap for Russia. all Putin really understands is the language of
I don't
power.
know.
And
I
that's
just feel like they're
precisely
just
why
pushing it and
we
pushing
still
it and
have
pushing
cards
it.
to play, which is secured, which is very severe sanctions, including secondary sanctions against those countries that are cooperating with Russia, and also to make sure that Ukraine is militarily secure. So
Then
that's
what
what I
has
see in
to
the
do with
coming days, and I
us?
couldn't agree more with you that there
They
is
need to
no
spend to
long
get.
peace solution
We're not gonna
without
give you.
Putin's first accepting
Come
a
on, man. That's
ceasefire and
bullshit.
stop the fighting
Okay, I
now.
can't listen to her anymore. It's just a bullshit story. It's just they keep saying the same shit over and over and over and over and over. It just gets repetitive, and it's been like this for like the past like 4.5 years. The same bullshit over and over and over. You get tired of it. It's to the point. Like, listen, start World War III, destroy the fuck out of Ukraine, destroy the fuck out of Europe, and that's it. End of story. You know, the world blows up and everybody dies. There you go. Happy ending, right? Everybody's dead. I think that'd be a perfect ending for all of us because we don't deserve to be here. None of us deserve to be here. And if you think you deserve to be here, congratulations, you don't. Um, let's go ahead and go to other news. So stupid.
The shocking moment caught on camera. An Uber driver seen headbutting and punching a passenger. That man who was hit now taking legal action against the rideshare company. And ABC's Ike Ajachi has more. Ike, good morning. This is really disturbing.
Oh, he headbutted him.
Good morning, Mary. A biotech CEO from Charleston, South Carolina is speaking out after he says he was assaulted by an Uber driver earlier this year that left him hospitalized.
They need to sue the Uber driver, not the company.
This morning, the rideshare rumble sparking urgent questions about safety. Watch as this Uber driver gets out of his car and knocks a passenger to the ground while holding his service animal.
It happened so suddenly, but the attack is so vicious, so inhumane.
It was supposed to be a routine night for Brian Cobell, a biotech CEO from South Carolina. He and a friend and his licensed service dog Piper ordered an Uber just after dinner in downtown Charleston.
The gentleman said, "No pets." I said, "She's not a pet, she's a service animal," just to clarify. He said, "No pets." I said, "Look, she's a service animal, so it doesn't really fall under that again."
According to his complaint, Cobell says the driver, 42-year-old Vadim Ulumdashiev, a Russian national authorities say is living in the U.S. illegally, refused to allow a service animal in his car. Surveillance video capturing Ulumdashiev storming out of his Audi and headbutting and punching Cobell as bystanders watched in horror. The Uber driver fled.
Someone just punched someone and fell on the ground and his head is bleeding from the back. We need someone immediately.
Cobell rushed to the hospital.
I had a split upper lip, and then I had 7 staples across the top of my head, as well as 4 stitches in there. And then internally, I had a severe concussion, which took quite some time to recover from.
Ulumdashiev eventually arrested and charged with second-degree assault and battery, and is now in federal custody at an ICE detention facility as immigration authorities begin deportation proceedings. Cobell is now suing Uber for negligence, claiming the company put profits ahead of passenger safety by hiring Ulumdashiev with an alleged fake driver's license, questioning the rideshare giant's vetting system. Ulumdashiev's attorney telling ABC News that the driver's license is legit and the video doesn't tell the full story, and she intends to defend her client vigorously.
The reality is Uber is failing miserably to protect its riders. Despite saying that safety is its number one priority, they need to be more stringent with who they choose as drivers, and frankly, they've brought these wolves into the henhouse.
Now, Uber has since responded, saying it's committed to safety and complies with all regulations around worker eligibility and that there's no place for violence. As for Cobell's service dog, well, the dog is okay, guys.
Oh, what a story.
Yeah, just so shocking to see that reaction.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. All right. Thank you so much, Ike.
That's crazy. I mean, to headbutt someone and punch them, I mean, I don't think you could sue Uber for that. I think you could personally sue the individual who did that to you. And he's already been arrested and charged, and he's already being set up for deportation. So if he gets deported, how the hell are you going to sue him? No. I don't think that case will go far if you're trying to sue Uber, because Uber didn't do that to him. The driver did. Even though the driver works for Uber, it's like, it just, all Uber has to do is fire him, and that's it. And then they're gonna wipe their hands with that, because you know how many people try to sue Uber and it just doesn't. It's not successful. It's just, this is just another case of, rage. It's just rage. And I wonder how it got so heated to that point. Even though it's a service animal, technically it is a service animal, but it's still a pet. It is a pet, even though you want to put the service animal title to it and make it exempt and make it, the pet could go anywhere, and there's still limits. And these Uber drivers, they're not aware ahead of time that a pet is going to be in the car. I mean, and that's the case, then maybe he could sue Uber for not having an option for service animal, that a vehicle can be provided that's service animal friendly, because not all vehicles, they're going to allow pets in it. I'm telling you right now, if I had a brand new car and I was driving Uber and they try to bring a dog in my car, I'm like, hell no. Even if it's a service animal, I'm sorry, I just don't want any animals in my car. So that's where the problem lies. They got to make an option within their app where they could add on service animal, and then that way they'll send a driver that's actually appropriate for service animals and passengers. I think that's something that Uber should consider doing, because not a lot of people are not going to allow animals and all different types of animals in their cars. It's just not going to happen. But not my headache. That's for damn sure. It's not my headache. So let's go to the next story. Let's check this one out here. Let's go to this one.
If you are expecting a package from Europe or India, you may be waiting a while. Multiple European postal services and the government of India announcing they are set to suspend shipments to the United States. They're citing a lack of clarity when it comes to new import tariffs that are expected to take effect this week. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza joining us now. Marcus, walk us through this about why it's happening and how it's going to affect you and I and the American consumer.
Yeah, Hannah, the short answer, tariffs, but there's a lot more complexity in that as well there. So both Europe and India are now suspending many shipments to the United States. It all comes down to how packages enter the U.S. and new rules that will change what gets taxed. At the center of it is the end of what's called the de minimis exemption. That's set to expire on August 29th, a rule that lets packages worth less than $800 enter the U.S. duty-free. This is a big deal. Last year alone, more than 1.3 billion packages arrived that way, worth more than $64 billion. Across Europe, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and Italy have already stopped shipments of many packages to the U.S. France and Austria will join in on Monday. And the UK's Royal Mail says it will halt service Tuesday to let packages already in transit arrive before the new duties take hold. And in India, postal officials say starting August 25th, they will suspend all shipments to the U.S. That's tomorrow, except letters, documents, and small gifts under $100. Meanwhile, DHL, Europe's largest shipping provider, is also pulling back. The company saying it can't continue accepting business parcels to the U.S. until there's more clarity on how the new duties will be handled. Under the new framework, most goods shipped from Europe will face a 15% tariff, and packages under $800 will no longer be duty-free. In India, any package over $100 will now be subject to new duties, with only small gifts and documents exempt. You following along so far? Until U.S. authorities spell out the rules, basically, Americans waiting on deliveries from Europe or India could be left hanging with no clear timeline on when normal shipping will resume. I
am following along.
This is going to be hurting the holiday season.
Is a little, it's a little concerning here, especially considering how confused they seem to be about the tariffs.
That's why I don't ship nothing overseas.
There's a couple of options there, and then hopefully during the week, perhaps the U.S. will speak out and clarify some things there. But right now, options are limited. Like I mentioned, many postal services have paused shipments, mainly because there's still no clear rule book on how these duties will be collected. So there are limited workarounds. Shipping by services like DHL Express are still operating, though at a much higher cost than regular mail. And there are limited exceptions. In India, letters, documents, and small gifts under $100, as I mentioned, are still allowed. And in Europe, regular mail without merchandise is not affected. So for consumers, the biggest workaround may be checking where your order is coming from and buying from outside of Europe or India for now. And honestly, the best option is if you need something right away, go ahead and go out and order it quickly and hope it arrives before those new duties kick in. Henna, I was going to order a new football jersey
from Europe.
Arsenal football jersey from Europe. I've
or
downloaded the sport over there.
Yeah.
I think I need to put that order in today.
Especially considering some of these changes will start tomorrow.
That's right.
All right, Marcus Espinoza, thank you. Very important information for us to know.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased
crazy
news.
Times. So, people here in the United States, if you are anticipating any packages from Europe or India, y'all screwed. They're screwing you guys over, and who knows when you're going to get your package. It's a possibility you may never get your package. Like me, I never got my package. It got destroyed, and whatever contents that were in there was taken. And it sucks. I ain't shipping nothing to nowhere. I ain't sending nothing to Europe or anywhere in India. This is going to really take effect. Like, it's going to hit hard for the holiday season because a lot of people tend to start shopping now, and they start shopping this is the time that they start getting their shopping going because it's the end of August. You got September, October, November, and then December with the holidays. I wonder how this is going to affect the holiday season. I think it's going to have a big impact in the holiday season. If you're going to send anything to anyone for the holidays, I highly suggest sending it at least a month in advance. If you're going to send anything over to Europe, send it in November, and hopefully they'll get it before Christmas. I highly doubt it because of the way things are going right now. It's setting up for something to collapse within the mailing system. So this is just more chaos for the world. Rooting for the asteroid. Oh, man, I'm hoping it comes. It needs to come and hit the hell out of this planet. All right, let's go to some other news here. I think this is disgusting news. Let's check this one out.
Well, despite being ordered shut last week, violations still seem to be happening at a South Florida restaurant. We discovered meat was left thawing out in the open.
And at a Checkers, the manager insists her place was clean, but you might not agree. Here's Local 10's Jeff Weinsteer with tonight's Dirty Dining Report.
Back door wide open, Frank.
What?
And inside trays of beef and chicken.
Ew.
Covered, thawing at room temperature. Flies can come in. This is something that could make you sick right here. It's happening at King's Super Buffet. That's at 7101 West Oakland Park Boulevard in Lauderhill. An employee appears. That food can't be sitting out there like that with the door open.
Well, icy.
It's icy. I know, but it's not the way to thaw it. And steps away from that open back door. The rules are the dumpster has to be closed. And near that open back door where there's food sitting and thawing is this. So where do you think all those flies go? Last week, King's Buffet was ordered shut during a routine, unannounced food safety inspection. You all were ordered shut last week. You had a roach issue, rodent issue, food out of temperature, 15 violations.
Yes, we did, and then we did close out, and then we make our correction.
Maybe, but while they were open and serving you, an inspector noted 40 rodent droppings on top of cans of food, on shelves in the kitchen, on a window ledge in an office at the back of the kitchen. There were roaches on a wall by the sink, shrimp, sprouts. Raw mussels were all being held at unsafe temperature.
I know, it's our mistake. God. We take our responsibility and we close, we clean, we did all that. Sorry.
Sorry's not going to fix that. Out. The outside thaws first, hitting the danger zone fast where bacteria can multiply. And by an open back door, food must be thawed safely in a refrigerator, under cold running water, in a microwave if cooked right away, or straight from frozen, but leaving it out like this is a violation.
I'm going to go fix it right now. I'll let them know.
With the
Sorry about
bananas.
We
With
moved
the
to
bananas.
Fort Lauderdale, 400 East Sunrise Boulevard in this Checkers. An inspector here last week, based on a consumer complaint, ordered the place shut. Miss Sherry is the manager. Wanted to talk to you about what happened last week.
What do you mean?
80 rodent droppings, flies, ordered shut by the state. Yeah, but it's your job to keep the place clean.
Yes, the place is clean.
It wasn't last week. Yes, it was. Well, state records show an inspector spotted 80-plus rodent droppings on top of the French fry dispensing machine in a storage area by straws. Live roaches were above a customer order window, under the grill and fryer, and in a prep area. There was a flying insect issue, even a cigarette butt and ashes on the cook line hood. That's clean. All the places we just mentioned were allowed to reopen and serve you again following an ordered cleanup and then a reinspection. Jeff Weinstein, Local 10 News.
That's disgusting.
For a list of the restaurants ordered shut, scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you
scan
straight
that
to
code
the Dirty Dining
for
section
Florida
of our website, local10.com.
That's disgusting. Ew. Ew. Rodents. Droppings. Over 80 rodent droppings. That is disgusting. Who in the hell? Like, oh my God. I just can't. It's just, we're living in such weird fucking times. Like I said, I feel like I died and I came back alive and I'm just living like an extended amount of time in my life and everything is just disgusting. Everything is like, people are horrible. Like, everything is just so negative. I just don't get it. I don't understand like how society is just like this. It's like, what's going on with society? Ugh. Oh, I'm just thinking, and then people are eating that food, because that food is being prepared for the people. No. That's not good. All right, let's go to another story here. We got to change it up because that story was disgusting. Ugh, I'm just getting nauseous just thinking about it. All right, let's go to the story. I think this one should be a little cute.
We've all heard of police canines, but what about a police feline? Meet Lieutenant Jax, the newest member of the Belleville Police Department.
Kitty is a police officer. Oh, I love cats. I have
Being
two.
new on the job isn't always easy, but Lieutenant Jax has found a way to make himself right at home.
It's just a pleasure to have here.
Back in August, Jax, a stray kitten, showed up at the police department's door. The 7-officer team here took him in. Now they can't imagine this place without him. Chief Bill Eichel-Kraut has a dedicated spot for Jax on his desk, equipped with bird-watching videos and everything. He noticed a bigger purpose for this lovable cat right away.
It's been kind of a help for us to
relax,
take our mind off of
it's good for anxiety and stress.
And Lieutenant Jax is not kidding around. He takes his job as a therapy cat very seriously. Police records clerk Nicole Coyne says he can sense when he's needed.
He's very intuitive. I know when I've had a bad day, he knows and will stick either on you, he'll climb on you, or stick close by you.
Often offering a friendly meow to visitors, Jax has also sat in solidarity with a crime victim who came in to talk with police.
People can relate to animals, and this guy sticks around for a while.
Cute.
From a stray cat to a lieutenant.
He's a lieutenant. Oh, such a cute kitty face.
It's safe to say Jax has made a positive impact on everyone around him.
He has the happy
In
tails.
Belleville, Megan Marshall, Spectrum News.
Bless his heart. He has
Thanks
happy
for watching
tails.
our YouTube channel. For more
that was
stories
so
in your
cute.
communities, click the subscribe button
All
right here.
That actually gave me it made me feel a little good. A lieutenant. He's a police officer. my cats need to go to work. I just put a video up today. You have to watch it. It's beautiful. It's a perfect video. I'm trying to put more of my cats on because people love cats and people love to give them attention, and my cats are very adorable, and cats are very good for anxiety and stress and like depression. They're good. They know when you're not feeling good and they know when you're upset. It's just they're very intuitive and very smart. Very, very smart. Cats are very smart. So wow, that's awesome. That put a smile on my face. Made me a little happy. That's why I love cats, and cats love me. And let's go back to crazy. Oh no, like Rick, don't take us back to Crazy Town. I don't know, it's not that crazy, but it's kind of crazy. Let's watch.
Overseas Delta flight bound for the United States was diverted back to Tokyo. Our very own Local 10 News photographer Chris Hinson was on that flight. It returned to Tokyo because pilots were not comfortable with the engines being able to cross the ocean. He took several videos.
That was my biggest fear.
Including this one, video of maintenance workers checking on the engine to find an oil leak. After landing, the pilot shared a message to passengers detailing exactly what happened.
We had to err on the side of safety with no oil quantity on one of our engines. We didn't want to get over the Pacific and have to divert because of a bad engine. Maintenance has looked at it. This aircraft does have to go to the hangar for more inspection.
Hinson said the flight was only in the air for about 20 minutes before it was diverted. Delta has since booked him on another flight. We have yet to hear about the condition of the plane and if it will be operational anytime soon.
I don't think it's going to be operational like right away. I mean, remember I was telling you on my show, if you guys been with me for a while, you guys would know what I feel about the airplanes and how I believe the maintenance is very shoddy and very like not being done properly. And I feel like it's like a kind of like a sabotage that's going on behind the scenes with these airlines and maintenance, because we don't know the individuals who do the maintenance on these airplanes and how can we really trust them. We put our trust so easily into these like chunk of metal that flies up in the air magically, and to cross the ocean, you got to be up there for a good amount of time. You're talking about over 8-10 hour flight over the ocean alone. So yeah, more maintenance needs to be proper maintenance needs to be done, and I hope all airlines are having proper maintenance done because I feel like they're doing a shitty job. A lot of planes have been falling from the sky. It's just, I don't know. I think 2025 is the year that it's not the safest for the airline industry. Just very shoddy maintenance. Let's go check this one out here from South Florida again. A lot of South Florida. Let's see what this one's about. Let's set it up.
Turning now to the impact of inflation. Many business owners are dealing with rising costs and some are being forced to close as a result. One restaurant in Miami is now shutting its doors after serving its community for 20 years. Local 10's Bridget Matter is in Miami with reaction coming from that business. And Bridget, what do they have to say?
Sanella, well, we spoke to several business owners today, and they say inflation, overhead costs are up for them, making things harder. The corner that I'm standing in right now, there's 3 restaurants. One is closed, another is closing, and the one behind me says they are slow this summer.
Scorching temperatures and hurricane season thin out crowds in South Florida for summer, but many restaurants are feeling the heat. Andiamo Brick Oven Pizza, serving pies for 25 years.
Why don't you try the first one?
Looks like a pretty pizza.
Yeah.
Sits at 5600 Biscayne Boulevard, housed in a historic building.
Oh, I know where that at.
Customers are coming in for a final slice.
I passed by there before.
Andiamo in their last days of business. Owners Sasha and Daniel Soika say it's bittersweet.
And we have people who come, oh, I heard you guys were closing. I drove all the way down from Dania or from Delray or wherever.
The brother-sister duo know the restaurant business well. Their father, Mark Soika, was a pioneer in the Miami restaurantscape. The family
That
says
building is
times
very
have changed.
famous.
I'm excited for if we do something in the future. You know, a lot of people ask if we would sell Andiamo, then, you know, the recipes or anything. We would never.
Several factors went into their decision. Overhead and inflation played a part. Andiamo says they're doing things week by week. They'll likely close at the end of September. Right across the street,
They
is
just need
Flora
to change
Plant
up a
Kitchen.
little bit.
Their owners say this summer is slower than last. Flora Plant Kitchen is a plant-based concept with a Latin twist.
Disfruten, buen provecho.
It opened in Miami's Mimo neighborhood in 2023.
It's been really tough this summer. Like sales are decreased probably like 40% of the regular.
I bet you
sales
his
that we
overhead
had
is
back in
crazy.
April or May.
Owner Sebastian Ochoa says they've stopped serving dinner in summer to help with costs and survive the slow months, but think things will pick up soon. Their neighbors Chica closed down after 6 years in business. The iconic Asteria del Tetro in North Bay Village said goodbye after 40 years. Their space is occupied
Wow.
already by a new restaurant. In Miami Beach, Lucky Cat by Gordon Ramsay announced on social media they're taking a seasonal pause. After 20 years, the Miami Beach Italian spot Sardinia shut down too. Ensenada off Biscayne Boulevard opened for less than a year, posted to Instagram, they're closing forever. Andiamo's owners have a final message to their customers.
Just make sure you go support like your favorite local Miami restaurants because it's really important.
The problem, I know what
Andiamo
it
Pizza's
is.
owners said that they did look elsewhere to potentially open up another restaurant. They say that in the future they will consider that, but it will be a much smaller concept. For now,
Yeah, it
we're
has to
live
be
in
smaller.
Miami. Bridget Matter, Local
That-
10 News.
That area, I know exactly where that area is. It's a very busy artery right next to Biscayne Boulevard. This is in Miami. That facility there, it's a nice spot, but it's not a spot for fucking pizza. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That is not a good spot for fucking pizza. It's just you're not gonna make enough money to be in that area. In that area, you gotta have like a good amount, of customers that constantly come through. Not every day, not every week, but at least semi. They come like at least religiously every 2 weeks. I think the problem is the tourist industry right now is very minimum. It's very low. We're not getting a lot of Canadians. Canadians are not coming down. South Florida is not the only one that's being impacted by this. Las Vegas is also being hammered by this effect. They have low tourist rate, of people coming in. South Florida is being impacted. A lot of areas throughout the country is being impacted. It's not only the Canadians, but you got a lot of Europeans. They're not flying over. They're not coming as often as they did a few years back. So it is what it is. A lot of these restaurants have really high overhead, and they can't afford it. I mean, the ambition is beautiful. When you're running it successfully is good, but the problem is the longevity. Is it going to survive 20, 30, 40 years? Look, you just saw in the report, a restaurant that was 40 years old got shut down. And there's already a new owner, a new restaurant that's going to be taking it's over that spot. So, it's like dog eats dog. If you can survive, you survive. But if you can't, there's another dog that's going to come and take that spot. And they're going to revamp it, and they're going to bring in the people because the people will come. If you're just selling pizzas and you think you're going to make it, especially in that area, I don't think so. I don't think so. And especially that other restaurant that's plant-based food only, that's not going to make it in that area because not a lot of people are vegans. I'm sorry. They're just not. So from the beginning, you already was doomed. So That's South Florida for you. Let's see. We got two more videos, and then I'm wrapping it up. So let's go ahead and check this one out. I guess this is with Gavin Newsom. I think they call him Newscum or New Scam. I don't know. It's just you decide. I think he's both scum and scam. He's both.
There's no equivalency. Our Constitution calls for an independent, nonpartisan commission, which did the job.
They shot the first bullet. They took an action in Texas, and we're responding to it.
The redistricting fight moves to California. Governor Gavin Newsom is pushing to redraw the state's congressional districts after Texas passed its new congressional map this weekend. For more, let's bring in California Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member.
What California has to do with Texas?
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. The answer from a number of Republicans is that, look, Texas had this unfair map and they're just matching some other states, and that the process in California is, in fact, the one that is violating, the spirit of redistricting and all that. I mean, is it all wrong? What's going on here?
Yeah, look, and I want to be clear. I don't think gerrymandering is a good thing wherever it occurs. I don't like what's going on in some other states, but what's happening in California is uniquely anti-democratic. Our voters have said 3 separate times now that we want redistricting to be done by an independent commission. We don't think politicians should be drawing their own district lines. This is an inherent conflict of interest. But now Gavin Newsom has cooked up this scheme to overturn the will of voters and blow up our state's constitution in order to reduce Republicans from what we have now, which is 9 seats out of 52, and instead have us have 4 or 5 seats out of 52, even though we get over 40% of the vote in statewide elections. So what's happening in California goes absolutely against the will of our voters. It goes against the Constitution, and we need to fight against it in every way we can in order to safeguard democracy in California.
Now, Governor Newsom says, look, we're fine to leave it in place, but that's exactly what Texas did. What do you say to that?
Well, Newsom is desperate to come up with any issue to run on for president in 2028. The problem is for him is that he doesn't have a record to run on. He has the worst record of any governor in the entire country. California leads the nation in homelessness. We lead the nation in unemployment. We lead the nation in poverty. So not the most compelling campaign slogan to say, oh, let's spread that to the rest of the country. So right now, he's trying to make himself a hero to the far left by saying, I delivered the House for Democrats in 2026. And he's trying to do that not by winning more votes, but just by moving some lines around on a map. And so that's the whole purpose of this thing. But the good news is that we have the power to stop him. I actually have a bill in the House that would say Newsom is not allowed to do what he's doing. You're not allowed to redraw district lines whenever you feel like it. And if we get this passed and signed into law, then it will puncture Newsom's launching pad. It will stop him in its tracks. And best of all, I believe it'll set us up, Republicans up, to win the House in 2026, because we just won the House in 2024 using this exact same map that we have right now. And look at the positive changes we've had in the country since. A border that's at an absolute standstill, historic tax relief for Americans, rolling back all of this woke insanity. That's how we're going to win the House in 2026.
Would your bill apply to any state that's looking to do this, Democratic or Republican?
Yes, it would. I mean, I think that what's happening across the country is really not a good thing for either party. It's probably going to be a wash at the end of the day. Americans are overwhelmingly opposed to gerrymandering. And I happen to believe that when we have fair elections, Republicans win because the people of this country are on our side. So I'm saying let's stop. Let's have an armistice here with this redistricting war that isn't good for the country. I think that by the time we do the next round of redistricting in 2030, we should have come up with a way to make elections fairer in this country by, number one, ending gerrymandering once and for all, and number two, establishing voter ID across the country. I think that's the right thing for the country, and it's the right thing for Republicans.
You do have another opportunity to stop what's going on in California because it goes to a statewide vote. Do you think that Californians will reject this effort? And if they do not, does that put your seat at risk?
So I'm not super concerned about my own seat. Newsom has come after me in every way he can. Last year, he sent his own staff member to run against me, and I won by 46,000 votes. So even though he's drawn my district to resemble an elephant with his trunk that sort of collects Democrat voters along the way.
Well, it's a
I'm
very
confident that
Republican
can
shape,
win,
I guess, right?
Whatever the shape of the district. However, when it comes to the actual vote on this redistricting scheme, if it's a fair vote, if you ask folks in California, do you want redistricting done by a citizens commission, or do you want it done and returned to politicians? Overwhelmingly, Democrats, Republicans, independents, 2/3 of California voters say they want the commission to do it. The problem is they are going to try to fool people in the way this is presented on the ballot. We've already seen the language they've come up with. So they're going to try to trick people into thinking yes is no and no is yes. So that's the challenge we face in California, is we have a corrupt political class led by Gavin Newsom that is going to stack the deck in every way possible in order to undermine the will of voters. I think we can still win this, but the burden that we face, the challenge that we face, is simply getting out the truth.
All right, Congressman Kevin Kiley, Republican from California. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News
I don't know.
YouTube
I
page
think
to
Gavin
catch our hottest
Newsom is
interviews and most
gonna. He's just a failure. He's just. I just think too much hair gel is messing with his head and his brain cells. That's just my opinion, right? I think the hair gel is doing it in for him. It's just poor hair gel. Poor hair gel. Okay, let's go ahead and end off with this last video. It's from Tyson De La Cruz, and then we'll be wrapping it up here. So let's go ahead and set this up. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it over here, and let's enjoy.
Months after the Palisades and Eaton fires, former LA City Fire Chief Kristen Crowley says she was fired for telling the truth.
America, former LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley just filed a bombshell lawsuit against Mayor Karen Bass, claiming she was fired for telling the truth about the budget cuts that contributed to more than 11,000 homes being burned down. Crowley is demanding immediate retraction of false and defamatory statements and exposing a campaign of retaliation designed to protect Bass's political image. But here's what's really sick. Bass accused Crowley of refusing to conduct after-action reports and sending 1,000 firefighters home before the fires, when Crowley says she actually warned Bass that cutting $18 million from the fire budget would have serious consequences. Because this lawsuit exposes how Democratic mayors throw fire chiefs under the fire truck to cover up their own failures, while 11,000 families lose everything. The corruption here is absolutely staggering.
Who's responsible for what happened? Back in January, days after the fire started, Crowley told Fox 11's Gigi Grachette that the fire department lacked funding, resources, cited that empty reservoir. Her comments sparked debate and a meeting with the mayor.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Finally, we're seeing a fire chief fight back against the political scapegoating that happens when Democratic leadership fails at basic public safety. This lawsuit is going to expose a lot of things. Let me break down this explosive 23-page lawsuit that just exposed Mayor Karen Bass's campaign of retaliation against the fire chief who just told the truth. This is a 23-page legal claim where former Chief Kristen Crowley lays out serious allegations of retaliation from a mayor who was under fire for her handling of this crisis. Crowley is accusing Bass of orchestrating a campaign of misinformation, defamation, and retaliation to protect her political image.
The Crowley's has led to her demotion while the mayor was undermining public safety.
Bass removed Crowley as chief in February, just 6 weeks after the Palisades fire, claiming she was acting in the best interest of the city.
Now Crowley is fighting back loudly. The dispute essentially centers on the level of preparedness and response by LA City Fire for the Palisades fire, which damaged or destroyed an incredible 11,000 homes.
This is about who's responsible for one of the worst fire disasters in American history. Here's where the lawsuit gets really explosive. Pardon the pun here. Crowley claims she warned Bass about budget cuts before the fires, but Bass tried to cover it up. The trouble began after Crowley disclosed that she had warned Bass before the fires that cutting nearly $18 million from the fire budget would have some serious consequences.
The trouble, she alleged, alleges, began after Crowley disclosed
I don't know why
that
she's
she had
still
warned
governing.
Bass
I don't know
before
why
the
she's
fire
still mayor.
that cutting nearly $18 million from the fire budget would have serious consequences.
So Crowley actually tried to prevent this disaster by warning about the budget cuts, but unfortunately, Mayor Karen Bass completely ignored it.
2 days after the fire began, even before it was out, before all 2,300 acres had burned, before a total of 7,000 structures and homes were destroyed. Former Chief Kristen Crowley says the mayor began retaliating against her.
Bass obviously was more concerned about protecting her political image than dealing with the ongoing disaster.
That was a $17 million budget cut from our current budget, 25-26.
Initially, Crowley refused to contradict the mayor, claiming cuts didn't contribute to problems fighting the fire. But the very next day, she broke her silence.
But the very next day, she broke her silence and told the truth. The budget cuts are what did it.
Did and has and will continue to severely impact our ability to repair our apparatus.
Now let's take a look at the specific false accusations that Bass made against Crowley to justify her firing. After Crowley told the truth about budget cuts, Bass launched a smear campaign with false allegations that Crowley refused to conduct an after-action report, sent over 1,000 firefighters home, and had 40 engines just idling and failed to notify the mayor of the weather events.
In the claim, she denies refusing to conduct an after-action report, sending home firefighters before the January fires, and failure to notify the mayor of a major weather event.
In her lawsuit, Crowley denies all of the accusations. She said she never refused to conduct after-action reports, never sent home firefighters before the fires, and never failed to notify the mayor about weather events. These were all lies designed to justify her firing.
Crowley said she advocated for better funding and staffing. She demands an immediate retraction by the mayor and a formal apology.
Crowley said she advocated for better funding and staffing, and now she's demanding immediate retraction of Bass's false defamatory statements. She's also seeking a formal public apology and the end to the ongoing retaliation. Let's look at the timeline of the retaliation campaign because it shows exactly how Bass prioritizes politics over public safety. After a tense private meeting, Bass and Crowley appeared to be working together publicly. When asked if everything was copacetic, Crowley said,
"You and the mayor, right?
We are focused, I can tell you, right now, here and now, absolutely focused on what we need to do."
But this was political theater.
6 weeks later, the mayor demoted her, saying she was, quote, acting in the best interest of the city.
I just met with Chief Crowley and removed her.
She needs to be fired.
6 weeks later, Bass demoted Crowley, claiming she was acting in the best interest of the city. Well, in that case, Karen Bass, you should fire yourself. Bass said, I just met with Chief Crowley and removed her as fire chief.
Funny.
This was pure political scapegoating.
Now, 6 months later, Crowley has filed this claim against the city, alleging Mayor Karen Bass orchestrated a campaign of misinformation, defamation, and retaliation to protect her political image.
The lawsuit exposes a broader pattern of how Democratic mayors handle disasters. Blame the fire on the chief instead of taking responsibility.
Legal analyst Rachel Fissé believes the claim could actually help clear up what mistakes, if any, were made by the city itself.
The public will be made aware of the inner workings of the response from the city.
Crowley is seeking an immediate retraction of false and defamatory statements, a formal and public apology from the mayor, and an end to all the ongoing retaliation.
Although the claims don't mention specific dollar amount, it indicates she's seeking damages over $25,000.
As their chief, I'm extremely proud of the work that our people did and continue to do.
The head of the LAFD Board of Fire Commissioners, though, Janitha Hudley Hayes, tells me that all of this is, quote, unfortunate.
America, this lawsuit exposes exactly how Democratic mayors handle disasters.
How can you fire your police chief but then not fire yourself?
Political careers while families
But
lose
she was
everything.
in Africa when this happened.
Warned Mayor Karen Bass that cutting
And she was
$18
warned.
million from the fire budget would have some serious consequences. When 11,000 homes burned down and Crowley told the truth about about the budget cuts, Bass launched a campaign of retaliation and false accusations designed to scapegoat the fire chief. Bass claimed Crowley refused to do after-action reports, sent over 1,000 firefighters home, and let 40 fire engines sit idle. Crowley says these are all lies designed to justify her firing for telling the truth about Bass's budget failures. The timeline is damning. Bass started retaliating against Crowley just 2 days after the fires began, before they were even out, before the full scope of the destruction was even known. Bass was more concerned about protecting her political image than dealing with the ongoing disaster.
Of course, she's
This
only
is
worried about
exactly
herself.
the pattern we
She's
see
a Democrat.
from
What do you
Democratic
expect?
leadership. When their failures cause disasters, they blame everybody else except for themselves. Instead of taking responsibility for budget cuts that left fire departments unprepared, Bass made up false accusations against the fire chief who tried to warn her about everything. The families who lost 11,000 homes deserve to know the truth about why their city was unprepared for this disaster. They deserve to know that maybe their fire chief tried to warn the mayor about the budget cuts, and the mayor ignored those warnings, then fired the messenger. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it
That's
down
crazy.
in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, man. That was a good one. That just pisses me off, though, because Karen Bass should not even be mayor right now. Governor Newsom shouldn't even be governor of that state. The under budgeting of safety to those in Los Angeles that actually pays a lot of taxes. They pay a lot of taxes, and yet no money for the budget and no money for the fire department. And like, what the hell is going on here? I don't know. Something like California is really it kind of reminds me of Ukraine. You know what I mean? It gives me very like Ukraine vibes. And that's what California is. And you see how aggressive they're trying to fight, and you have Gavin Newsom cursing and, oh, I want to punch him in the face, and I'm gonna fight fire with fire. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Make no damn sense. I'm gonna fight fire with fire. How about gel with gel? Let's have a gel fight. It'll be some kind of Zoolander type of movie. It'll be like Zoolander, the remake, and it's gonna be Gavin Newsom with his gel and his fake. He's just fake. He's so fake. But that's the Democrats. That's their ticket for 2028. Gavin Newsom. You know, it's a match. You know, that's what they want. That's their downfall. The Democrats, they're just digging themselves a deeper hole. That's all they want. You know, and once upon a time, that was the party, but that party ended a long time ago. You know, and the fact that they gaslight all the voters of the Democrats, it's so unique to watch from outside in. Like, I don't know, slavery, the times of the slavery, and who abolished the slavery? Sure, it wasn't the Democrats. And who created the KKK? Surely the Democrats. It makes you wonder, who are they? What do they want? To me, I feel like they're the outsiders. They're the aliens. They're the weird ones. They come with their rainbow flags and all this pride to try to destroy America. And I think enough's enough. And I think we're all one because we're supposed to be united, because it is the United States of America. And the fact you have these individuals trying to control the narrative and divide the country shows you where their allegiance is and who it's to. And it's not to the American people, but to the good old dollar bill. And I wonder where they're getting those dollar bills from. George Soros is still alive. His son has taken over. His son is carrying out a lot of this that's going on. I think they should stop having outside influencers with big, deep pockets fund their candidates through the process. I think there should be a cap on that, and there should be like with lots of restrictions, because like it's just weird how you have these multi-millionaires and billionaires and they control the narrative, and they many places, many countries all around the world has been influenced by the almighty dollar. And the fact that it's been exposed, and I know and I see it, but the fact that the people don't even give a fuck to even care. None of you care. None of you don't care about what's going on in the world. You guys don't really pay attention. Because if you did, you would stand up and say something. And right now, it's nothing but silence. So the cycle continues. And when will humanity learn? I don't know. I think we're all failures. We're a lost cause. Rooting for the asteroid. Come on, asteroid. I know you're out there. There's plenty of them out there coming this way. And with that said, I'm out of here. I had a good long show. I'm tired. I'm a little cranky. You can feel my energy. But continue having a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night wherever you're located. And then I'll catch you on the flip side for sure. And I'll be back on tomorrow doing this all over again. And let's see what comes in the news. It's always every day is something, huh? Every day is something. But I'm hoping that you guys watch and like and let me know what you think. With that said, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later. Peace.